September 7, 2021. I find this so interesting. I'm just watching, trying to see what I can catch on the TV. And on comes America's Heartland. Now, it doesn't have a year, so I don't know what year it was. But what's really disturbing for me, being that my grandfather was from Iowa, my grandfather Gunder, they wound up selling the farm. I don't know anything surrounding the circumstances. I know that he never wanted to leave the farm, but for some reason they sold the farm, and I don't know anything about it. But what's really disturbing is this new farm. I see from watching America's Heartland, this gentleman is in Indiana. He's got beef cattle or beef something or other. Then he's beef stock, he's got corn, and then he's got soy that he's growing. I don't really know anything about agriculture because I don't have access to that in Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. But it's supposedly the same 50 states of America under United States. Now, I do see that he's got all new machinery on his farm. His son is tinkering around for this movie shot, pretending like he knows mechanics with his father. But I'm not really buying it because it just doesn't look right. The father's in the office with computer, like, office equipment. And again, I'm like, this is this new age farm. And then the son, in one part, which I'm going to play, says that he went to college. His father sent him to college, but he went to college for business rather than agriculture. And I'm going, so let me get this straight. You supposedly have a father who runs a farm, 5th generation. There's a level of expertise and mentorship that is, I mean, like, you cannot buy that level of education. And you decided that that wasn't enough or worth enough, that you as a farmer needed to go to college for what? For the wasting 4 years and an experience? I mean, like, the humans just don't make sense. No matter where I watch them, I'm like, every time I hear them speak, I'm like, I don't know about you all.
Feel it. Like a rock. Oh, yeah, jammed.
For Alan, running the farm has become a cooperative venture.
So for me, I'm like, so now where, like, I was watching Yellowstone last night, and the American Indian, supposedly, the one running the casino and the reservation, he looks very much like what I would say the Sahara Desert staff looks like from what I've seen on archaeology. But they're somewhere in the Mojave. He was asking, running casinos no less, and slot machines and big, bright television units with lots of light bulbs, lots of electricity, which is a whole nother problem within itself. But so now he was asking about U.S. Fish and Wildlife. And I'm like, right, that's interesting. And then I'm like, how does that tie in with agriculture? Because, again, we don't get education anywhere. I mean, like, is there a New York Constitution and a United States of America Constitution? This gets confusing. And if there is, how do you get a copy of it and read it? Like, where do they hold or house these documents? They haven't taught this in the New York City schools or the New York State schools, at least the ones that I attended.
With his son Brian.
We talked about opportunities together. We talked about equipment together.
This equipment looks brand new, by the way.
Inputs. Well, I think a lot of farm operations don't have the opportunity and luxury and privilege to farm with their next generation. And so it's my job to make sure that the farm operation or business goes to that next generation the best he can.
A good way for him to explain to me what needs to go on and how it needs to be done. I majored in business at Purdue, so I didn't major in ag at all. So he's teaching me everything I need to know.
To an Amish farmer that still uses a Clydesdale stock horse or whatever they might use. I saw that on a video once. And like a real plow, and does real agriculture and farming and has real generational roots in the ground. This is, I'd have to ask an Amish person, but I mean, the fuel problem, it's like, I just don't, this does not look family to me. And it says that they started in 1880 something and they're already 5 generations in. That's interesting, because I don't even know that time frame works. 5 generations since 1880. If you're in, it looks like it's early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, but I'm in 2021, so even on that time scale.
The Kempers will farm just under 1,200 acres of soybeans this year, planting in the spring, harvesting in mid-September. And with each crop, they adjust their soybean varieties to meet changing market demands.
We're into about a 6-year program here throughout the industry of producing healthy oils, a healthier oil for the consumer. So you'll see some of the varieties out there for a good human healthy oil. Clear on through to biodiesel that you may drive in your Mercedes or run in a semi or a locomotive.
Today, China and South America are challenging America's lead in soybean production. For Alan Kemper, that means farmers and plant researchers have to make each acre count.
We're getting plants that are healthier. That means they're more adaptable in a lot of different continents. We're doing it much more environmentally friendly way. And we're out here today in 160 acres. That's basically 160 football fields of soybeans that are not only look nice, but they're saving the soil. They're good for the environment. They're good for the consumer as well as my family who eats that same product.
Alan says the future of American agriculture depends on farmers keeping current with tools, technology, and consumer needs.
It's very important for the farmers to stay involved. Their responsibility does not end at the gallon of milk that's coming off the cow. It actually ends when the consumer is drinking it and says, yes, it's a good product. We need to promote our products, or we need to make sure our policies that we need out here on a business or farming are implemented. And our stories told also to the consumers.
Soybeans have been cultivated as crops in Asia for at least 5,000 years. The beans are used in hundreds.
Star 1978, Star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. I'm in Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. I am so far from agriculture. Again, more stuff I would have loved to have learned, but not from any of the education systems that they've provided or that they've established poorly, might I add, in the United States of America. You go to college, you pay 4 years for what? You come out older and with nothing extra. There's nothing to take from the university. They didn't teach you anything. None of the teachers are experts. They don't use high quality professorship in the United States of America in order to teach the children. At least in New York they don't. There has been 0 quality professors and providers of guidance and mentorship since I arrived.